Hey everybody, my name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and welcome to our ultimate guide to M4 attachments in PUBG for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Big thank you to PUBG for sponsoring this video, in which we are going to take a look at what each attachment does on the M4 and try and figure out which combo is king. I've played over 6,000 games of PUBG on console since it launched, including over 500 chicken dinners, and I get asked again and again which attachments I would recommend to use, especially for the M4. It's the most popular AR in the game and can take a huge variety of attachments, so today we are going to take to the training room to see just what each one does for your gun control. It's going to be interesting to see the results of this testing on console specifically, since the recoil behaves differently on the PC version of the game when compared to Xbox and PlayStation. If you have any questions you want to ask me, then feel free to pop over to one of our daily PUBG live streams on twitch.tv/thebeardguys, where you can ask me there. I would also be interested to hear in the comments below if there were any results in this video that you found surprising, whether you're a new player or an experienced one. It's worth adding before we start that some setups just seem to work for different people in different ways, whether it's due to their style of play or a purely psychological effect. Some of the results in this video made me question some of my own biases, and whilst it's interesting to break down the science, at the end of the day, just go with what feels best for you and don't worry what anyone tells you. So let's jump into the guide. So in the background, you are going to see me carrying out a series of tests. I'm going to fire 30 rounds with an M4 on full auto from around 10 meters distance without attempting to control recoil whatsoever. Unless specified otherwise, I'm not crouching or holding breath during these M4 sprays. I want to keep this easy to follow and understandable for even new players, so we aren't going to break down every spray pattern in great detail, but they will all be shown on screen along with annotations of which setup it was, and if you want to pause and scroll through and see any in particular, you can go ahead and do that. After doing some sprays using no attachments for comparison, we're going to jump on and try the suppressor. The suppressor muffles the sound of your gun, and despite what many people think, does not appear to offer any noticeable change in recoil when compared to firing the M4 with no muzzle attached. It does hide your flash as well as suppressing the gun sound, but it does not offer the recoil benefits of a flash hider. So on to the flash hider. The flash hider muzzle attachment hides your muzzle flash, which has useful tactical benefits, as well as giving you a minor boost to recoil control. In testing, you can see it noticeably reduces the vertical recoil when compared to the suppressor. Lastly, with the muzzle attachments, we have the compensator. The comp offers the biggest recoil boost out of all the muzzle attachments, giving a major boost to recoil control. The recoil pattern is much tighter than any of the previous tests we have seen, thus proving that the comp is God. It doesn't suppress sounds and it doesn't hide your flash, but it does make it a lot easier to shoot things. As we move on to the grips now on their own, we're going to start off with the thumb grip. The thumb grip gives a major boost to ADS speed, a minor boost to vertical recoil control, and weapon steadiness. It has no negative effects. This grip offers a trade-off when compared to most other grips, giving up extra recoil control to allow you to move into ADS mode more quickly. The angled foregrip gives a major boost to your horizontal recoil control, a minor boost to your ADS speed, and a minor negative effect on weapon steadiness. On paper, it's often cited as one of the better grips for full auto spraying, along with the half grip, but personally, I'm not a big fan of it and tend not to use it. With a controller, I find vertical recoil more of an issue than horizontal, especially with the M4, which has very little horizontal recoil anyway, so I tend to avoid this one. The half grip gives you a minor boost to recoil control, a minor boost to recoil recovery, and a minor reduction to your weapon steadiness. This should aid your overall recoil control and also assist you in resetting your aim when making short sprays, but your aim is going to take a small hit from the weapon steadiness debuff. The lightweight grip offers a major boost to stability after each shot and a minor boost to weapon steadiness. This basically makes it the king of grips for sniping on single shot and not amazing for spraying. Though, as it doesn't have any negative effects, it's better than nothing on your M4 no matter what you're doing with it. Finally, for grips, this brings us on to the vertical foregrip. The VERT grip, which in my opinion easily wins best in show for controller play on the M4. It gives a major boost to vertical recoil control and also offers a minor boost to weapon stability after shooting. The extra vertical recoil control it offers is huge, and since a kitted out M4 won't really give you too much trouble with horizontal recoil anyway, I think this is the clear best grip to run for full auto spraying with the M4. It's also not too bad for sniping either. The final attachment to add to the equation is the tactical stock. The tac stock gives a minor boost to recoil recovery, weapon stability after shooting, ADS speed, and weapon steadiness. It has no negative effects. These effects give it a noticeable benefit to gun control when spraying, but it probably gives more benefits overall to those using it for single shot or short bursts. So now that we've had a look at all of the attachments on the M4 individually, we're going to take a look at how they layer up. First up, we're going to run through each of the grips we just saw whilst using a tac stock at the same time. As you can see, this is the thumb grip and the stock being run together, and the stock brings a noticeable amount of extra recoil control to the grips. Second up, we have the half grip, which as mentioned before is a pretty good grip for spraying, but does have some negative effects. Following on from the half grip, we have the angled grip, another grip that has some benefits to recoil, particularly around horizontal, but does also carry negative effects. Again, it's not one of my favorites to use, as I just don't think the M4 needs much extra horizontal recoil control. Next up, paired with the tac stock, is the lightweight grip. Now this is the one that's generally used for single tapping, but as we mentioned earlier on, it doesn't really have any negative effects, so it doesn't really matter whether you've got it on or not. Lastly, to pair up with the stock, we have the VERT grip. Now this is my favorite, as mentioned before, for spraying on full auto with the M4. So a tac stock and a VERT grip, as you can see, gives you a pretty nice tight recoil pattern, and even without any kind of horizontal recoil bonus, it still has very little horizontal recoil issues there at all. So next up, we're going to have a look at each of the different muzzle attachments with a stock. First up, we have the suppressor, which as we mentioned earlier doesn't really seem to offer any recoil control benefits over no muzzle at all, but paired with the stock you do get a small benefit from having the stock on the gun. Next up, we try the flash hider, which as we saw earlier does offer a little bit of an increase to gun control, and when paired with the stock brings it in a little bit tighter, but still looks not quite as effective as the stock and the VERT grip. Lastly, for the muzzles, we'll see as things really step up, we hit the comp and the stock together. The comp, the king of the muzzle attachments, with the stock bringing in a pretty nice tight recoil pattern. And if you compare it to the very early ones where we had nothing on at all, the bullet spread is really starting to tighten up now. So now we're going to move into the final stages of testing where we group everything together. This is the stock, the comp, and the thumb grip together. We decide to run the stock and the comp with all of the different grips because I feel the comp is easily the best for controlling recoil. Next up is the half grip paired with the stock and the comp, and you can see it gives you a pretty nice amount of control. There is still a small amount of horizontal recoil there, but it is not too significant. Coming in with the angle grip, you can see it's pretty similar to the half grip, but does actually go a little bit higher because it doesn't offer that little bit of extra recoil control you get with the half grip. Next up, we have the lightweight, not really specialized to this sort of work, but it does seem to kind of hold up okay. It's drifting off to the side a bit, having a little bit of horizontal recoil, but still fairly easy to control. Mostly, I think, thanks to the comp. And lastly, we have the dream setup, in my opinion. We have the stock, we have the comp, and we have the VERT grip. And you can see just how tight that recoil pattern is compared to anything else we've done today. And that is the dream. What I think is also interesting to look at the end of this video is that crouching makes a big difference to your gun control too. And here we're going to test out the fully kitted out Dream M4. This is just while standing without crouching or holding breath. We're going to follow this up with a crouch spray in just a moment, and you can see with the crouch spray gives a huge benefit to the vertical recoil, particularly giving it such a tight spread, probably half the vertical recoil of standing up unkitted M4 that we saw earlier. And something I also wanted to show was that holding in breath doesn't actually really do anything for your recoil. What it does is reduce your weapon sway, which can allow you to be more precise with your aim, but that's more specifically for lining up a single shot or your first shot. For the actual recoil control, holding breath offers no benefit. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found some of the information in it useful and it can help you improve your gun skills in PUBG. If you did find it helpful at all, then please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel to see more like this. Big thank you again to PUBG for sponsoring this video, and don't forget you can catch us streaming PUBG Xbox most weekdays over on twitch.tv/thebeardguys. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.